Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio. With your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
Welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 1075. This is your host, Danny, and joining me for this episode is Pete. What's going on, Pete?
Hey, what's up, dude? How you doing?
Good, man. Everything is good, man. Paris not going to be joining us on this episode, but he's hopefully in the future he'll be on, and we're going to talk about all this next gen stuff. All right, but first, head over to GamerTagRadio.com. Listen to our past episodes. Also, you can find us on any podcast app. All you have to do is just search for Gamertag Radio and subscribe, follow us, or if you can, post a review, and it will help us out. Also, if you'd like to be part of a fan mail episode or segment, here's how you can contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so we're back here. Pete, how you been, man? How's everything over there, man?
Doing good. I'm doing good. Weather started dropping now, so not talking in centigrade because we don't use the freedom numbers like in the States. Dropped down to the single digits at night the last couple of days. So it's been, I guess in Fahrenheit, it's like the high 40s and stuff like that. Today I went on my hike and it was, I guess, 51 degrees. So I just had like a hoodie and my backpack, and I just hit the trails. So yeah, man.
Nice.
It's winter time.
Yeah, this is now hoodie weather over here now in New York. So that's good. That's good, man. Because summer was kind of brutal, man. Especially wearing the mask. It's brutal over here, man, with that, man. So
fellas, hide your hoodies, because that means you know what that means, fellas, right? Hide the hoodies because the ladies will take them.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about this, Pete. I have to show you something, man.
Let's see it.
All right, I'm going to show you. Hold up. I got to put my mic down, so let me put it. Hold up. Xbox Series X. Finally got it here, a part of the preview program with other content creators and also the press. So, Pete, there's a lot of things I can't talk about. Give me 1 second. Let me put this down right here. I am going to talk about, the quick resume, loading time, stuff like that, performance when it comes to the games, backwards compat. But in the future, I'm planning to have more stuff, a lot more stuff in the future. So just wanted to put it out there, man, very quick. What your thoughts be of the console so far? I know you've been reading other content, right, from like people online.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, right? Like this is a big thing, not just for, influencers or, however we want to label ourselves, content creators, right? This is a huge thing for Microsoft, right? This is what appears to be their way of getting back into the good graces of gamers around the world, right? They fumbled tremendously with the Xbox One X. And it's good to see that they took those lessons learned and they've applied them here. So I'm glad to see it finally come out. I'm glad to see it in the hands of people. And from what I've heard, read, and seen, and hopefully we'll talk about today, is that it is what everybody expected it to be. They came correct with the Xbox Series X. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on a couple of the features and stuff.
Yeah, you know what was the first game I really wanted to try out to see if it was going to load fast or not, was The Division 2. Because, Pete, that game, I don't know how it is in the PC, but for Xbox One X, it takes a while to load, man. This one took 7 seconds, which is pretty insane for that game, man. I tried that one. I tried The Outer Worlds. That one was like maybe 6 seconds or so, 6 or 7 seconds. That one, Control, that's another one that was super super quick. And I noticed it runs very very smooth compared to the version I have on Xbox One X. Because usually when you pull out the map in the game, I don't know if you ever played. Have you played Control, Pete, at all?
No.
Or no?
No.
All right. So when you play the game, you could pull out like the map, and sometimes it loads, or sometimes it takes like forever. I didn't get no issues, man. Zero issues trying out that game, and it runs very very smooth on this. I'm thinking about other games.
Did you get to use the quick resume feature for Control and get back into loads that you had from the Xbox One X? And so, is it as good as advertised?
Yes, it's very good. And actually, I was also reading this from other people have been talking about, like the press and the content creators. That feature is only available here. Like, it's not, you won't find that like on PC or any other console. So the thing that I like about it is, let's say I'm playing the Outer Worlds, and my brother say, hey, let's go play some Apex Legends. I could just switch right away. Mm-hmm. And because of the loading time and quick resume, it'll be a faster way for me just changing games. Right now, you could do that up to like 7. I will not do that. I think 3 is like the sweet spot. Because honestly, who is going to do 7 games changing it like that? You know what I'm saying?
So that was actually that's one thing I wanted to ask, is like, I'm curious how many games you can actually preload before you either affect the system performance in and of itself, or does it just automatically say, okay, after 3 games, I'm just going to dump the last one just so that it continuously has that memory available to keep the games ready for quick resume?
Yeah. I think people have done already 7. I haven't gone that far. But here's the thing. If you are playing a multiplayer game and you do quick resume, remember, you're online. So it's like similar to when you're playing a game, like let's say Destiny, you can't pause the game.
Right.
Like something like that, right? But I think if you're playing like a single player game and you want to switch it to another one and then another one because of your friends, like, well, let's say a multiplayer game, that I think it will be perfect for that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's really cool doing that, changing the games like that. Especially the thing that's been like driving me insane is just like, not insane, but like in a good way, is the loading time. So I'm gonna give you a couple games because I'm still downloading a lot. So I'm gonna give you a couple. Some of them I tried, some of them I haven't. So Destiny 2, your favorite number, Pete, 43 seconds loading time.
Success.
That's it. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, 30 seconds.
Wow.
Sea of Thieves, which I haven't tried this one yet, 20 seconds. Evil Within 2, which is a fantastic game that came out a couple years ago from Bethesda, 33 seconds. The Outer Worlds, 6 seconds, which I mentioned. Red Dead Redemption takes forever on Xbox One X. I believe it's like a minute and 30-ish, like around there, right? For the Xbox Series X is 52 seconds. Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone is 16 seconds. So that's pretty dope. Really, really cool to see that, man. And honestly, I'm planning to talk about more stuff in the future about the console, controller, all that stuff, man. So,
right.
But it's good, man. It's really, really cool, man. Seeing that, man. Loading time. I feel like it's just. It's a lot faster if you want to like the experience. Like, hey, let me change games, play with my friends. Let me go play single player. It's really cool, man.
Well,
really,
I think
really cool.
that's a big key feature. Like when people try to do comparisons, or when people want to compare titles, and their performances between, and maybe use those to make those decisions on whether you're going to go with a specific platform. That is a key indicator for where people may make a decision, right? That ability to say, okay, I have, let's say, just throw it out there. You have Game Pass and you're, like you said, you want to switch over to another game because your friends are playing. Typically, you gotta exit, stop, pull the game out, put in a new game, or go launch the game, go through the entire launch sequence, which a lot of times is a pain in the neck, right? Let's just call a spade a spade. That's sometimes can almost say, nah, I don't want to go through that hassle, right? If you just want to join your friends, you can. And that's such a key, cool feature to have. And that's, you really think about it. If you're switching games like that because you're always back and forth on what you're playing, that could be a decision. That could be one of those little key decision makers on whether, you want to go Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah. And one thing, because of this, now I am even more curious about the Xbox Series S. How's that going to run it? I think it's going to be similar, very, very similar to this, to the X. So I can't wait to try that out. Now, I could say this. I definitely, where I'm at right now, sorry, there's like a train in the background. Where I'm at right now, it's a little bit complicated because of the space that I have. So, and I knew from the get that I think I was gonna have like some issues putting the Xbox Series X in a certain area here where I'm at. But that's why I want to try out the S because it's a lot smaller than the X, and yeah. So I can't wait for that one to come out, man. So I already pre-order it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
can't wait. So let me show you one more time. One more time, Pete. Let me put this up. It's heavy. It's a little heavy here, man.
I see you struggling. I see you struggling with it there.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for you to drop it, dude. I'm just gonna laugh at you.
Yeah. No, I've been filming a lot of stuff for the show. Hopefully I can put that like on Twitter or somewhere, later on. So yeah, I can't wait to talk about more stuff about this, man. It's really cool. Really, really cool. But remember, this is a preview. It's not a review, a preview. So I just want to say thanks to Microsoft for giving me the opportunity. And also, Paris on Twitter says I'm lucky. I don't know about luck. I don't know why he says I'm lucky.
You are. You got it. I don't.
No, it's not luck. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work, man.
But
you know what I'm saying?
It's things like the SSD. It's a great introduction to people who play on console. Because that's not something that they typically get to use. Yeah, I know. Like you could use, you had the laptop, the 2.5 inch on the PlayStation 5, etc. But the actual full-on speed of an SSD, of a solid state drive, that functionality, that performance that you get is something that PC players have been using for years, right? We've grown accustomed to it, and we take it for granted almost because we've always had it. We've had it for much longer period than console players. So now you guys are having it. Now you guys get to see what it is that PC players traditionally get to use, and that speed, that performance, that quick that boot up speed, right? Like on my PC, I can turn it on, and within 18 seconds, my PC is on, up and running. Everything's loaded, ready to go. So I'm glad to see that consoles are starting to get that catch up now on features and functionalities. So
yeah, I have to say this. I'm very happy to see that Microsoft been sending now the console early. We're in like early October. This is coming out next month. It's really cool to see that they're so confident. They're sending this to all the press. Usually companies will do like private events, and maybe closer to launch, you will get the console like maybe a week or two before it launches. So, I mean, there's people that have been having this since September, since the end or almost the end of September with the console. That's insane. I cover games for a long time. I've never seen that before. So that's pretty cool to see that from them. Then, and I hope we get to see more of that from like other companies too. Because I think it's cool to have the conversation, show the content, the device or the game, whatever, to our audience, man. You know what I'm saying? Get everybody excited and hyped. I'm excited for next gen. I'll tell you that. I'm very excited for next gen. And like I said, I am super, very, 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 very curious about the Series S now, man, because of this device. You know what I'm saying? So, and yeah, also I believe PlayStation just had like a hands-on, right? A hands-on thing, hands-on event in Japan.
They invited a small select group of media from Japan and YouTube influencers for a hands-on event with the PlayStation 5. They got to play, a couple of games, and it seems like the overarching commentary coming out of that it's huge. Like they showed pictures, and there's 4gamer.net or something, but like a side-by-side with the TV that they're playing on, and this thing is massive. It is no joke.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
No, there's no joke. But on the flip side of that, there's also early comments that it is quiet with little to no heat coming out of the machine. So that was, if anything, that was one of the biggest negatives of the previous iteration, was that it sounded like a jet airplane, and that it basically could heat up your apartment. Actually, and to be fair, the Xbox One X was real close to that as well, right? Both of those were multitasking as space heaters at the end of the day. So it's good. It's good to see.
I know. I think it was. I can't remember who exactly. I think it was Tony that posted this. We have like a chat. We always talk all the time. And let me see if I find it here. But it's about the storage, Pete. The storage of a PlayStation 5.
So it's usable space is 625, I want to say, or something like that. 625 gigs of available storage of usable storage, not available, usable storage after the OS load and everything else. That's pretty. That's going to, and then I want to preface that with the Xbox has this cool feature that allows you to segment what parts you want to install on your hard drive on the Xbox One X or Series X and Series S. That's pretty cool.
You read that? You read that online?
Yes.
You read that online? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I did. So that's a pretty cool like tit for tat type feature. There is on the PlayStation 5 you can hardly see it unless you zoom in. But it's on the right hand side. There's like a little screw nut that, and I think it's like an Allen wrench screw nut or something that you can connect and go through. It's I think it's supposed to be where you're supposed to be able to release and remove stuff to or release a portion of the cage or the case of the PlayStation 5 to either replace or slot in another hard drive. But think about it. If you think about it just from like a Call of Duty, Warzone perspective, that thing barely, that game is like a 40 gig release every week, on Patch Tuesdays essentially. So, I don't know. It's going to be pretty interesting.
All right. So here's the thing. So I heard, I can't confirm this is true enough about the PlayStation 5, that you can't use your external hard drive to connect to the console. Maybe they'll add that in the future, but as of right now, it's either that and or buy the SSD card and put it in the system. That's it. So the game that is available there, it's a demo game, which is called Playroom. Is 2.4 gigabytes. That one right there. Now, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a very expensive, next gen for a lot of people, man. Because of that, man. Because you have to. The SSD card is expensive. It's like what, 2 something, right?
219, I want to say 220. Yeah. But I mean, and I said this, a couple of shows ago was don't be surprised of that cost because that is the going price of a Gen 4 PCIe Gen 4 SSD at 1 terabyte. It's about $180 to $200, right? Then you got to take into consideration because I believe they changed the form factor for what they plug in. I'm just talking about a standard NVMe hard drive that you would normally plug into your PC, right? So now we're talking a custom PCIe Gen 4 NVMe memory card with all of its, related hardware, et cetera, that's, got encapsulated, and then the custom interface that plugs into the back of a PlayStation or the back of the Xbox, Series X.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, it's unconfirmed. I said, this is what I heard, through different, social media. It's not 100% confirmed about the storage, but if it's true, then that's not good. I think they need to have that update where you could put the storage in there on day one. I think that's important, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's about it from PlayStation 5. Now, I have to say this, OP. It seems that Xbox is being very like, hey, let's give away but let's send our consoles to a lot of people from the media and content creators, right? And PlayStation has been more of, let's have the typical traditional hands-on events. You come to our space, check it out, record, and that's it. It's very controlled. Do you think that's a mistake from Sony? Because they're still doing the old traditional way. It works for them. People are still going to be buying their console no matter what. But do you think they should change?
From a marketing standpoint, I don't think they need to, right? They are still, at the end of the day, the market leader with regards to their platform. They don't need to put extra eyes on their product because they already have that. They already have that installed player base, right? They know that traditionally that player base is just going to go and fold over to the next version, right? So it's almost assumed that what was I forget the number of PlayStation 4 owners. It's almost assumed that PlayStation 4 owners will automatically go to PlayStation 5, right? Mm-hmm. Microsoft has that uphill battle that they need to assume, not just to get to second place, but if they're trying to get to number one. Because remember, you still have Nintendo. You have big Nintendo there with the Switch. You got to battle that, right? In and of itself. Yeah, I know, and I know Paris isn't here, but who cares? He's not here, so we could talk about whatever we want.
Yes.
He likes to say, they're out in their own little universe. Nintendo does what Nintendo does, and whatever it is. But Microsoft, in their ultimate mentality, wants to be the number one, right? So they have to surpass Nintendo. And in order to surpass Nintendo and Sony, they need to put their device in front of as many people from an influencer perspective as possible. That's why you see television ads. That's why you see sponsorships on sports programming, etc. They need to get that marketing out there in order to get little Johnny and mom to go out to the store and buy an Xbox, period. Whether it's a Series X or Series S is irrelevant, honestly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and that's my opinion, right? I'm in IT, but what do I know at the end of the day? But I think the reason Microsoft is putting it out there like that is because they want to get as much good, solid press as possible, so that people look at the Series X and Series S as a viable option this holiday season and moving forward. They need to, they need to make sure that when a consumer goes to the store and is ready to start dropping coin, that they're confident. Yes, I want an Xbox Series X, not as an afterthought because they're sold out of Switches or they're sold out of PlayStation 5s.
Yeah, you know what? Another thing that we also have to talk about, at least Microsoft been showing their dashboard for a while now. They've been showing it, right? PlayStation hasn't shown anything at all.
Not true.
They haven't.
They showed a 10-second clip of the startup of their UI. Actually, Tom Warren tweeted it out. I think it was yesterday or the day before. It was like a little 10-second. It's literally the startup of the device. Yeah, it's the boot up of the UI. And of course, fans are going to go crazy because it's the first time we're actually seeing it, and deservedly so. Yeah. But we haven't. I mean, it's the 4th, so we've got 6 weeks, maybe 5 weeks till launch, and we're barely scratching the surface of what they're showing. Yeah.
Now that was the Japanese content creators and press. I wonder how they're going to do this for Europe and also for the States, man.
Oh, I'm sure that'll happen in the next week or two.
Yeah, I think maybe by this week, hopefully, right?
I would assume so.
Yeah. Now, it's cool. I'm going to try out later on. I'm going to download Assassin's Creed, a couple of the games that I have in my library, and I'm testing them out. And look, if you follow me on Twitter, I'll post the times of those games. But let me tell you, Pete, Destiny loads pretty fast, man. I know I mentioned it earlier, but it loads pretty, really good, man. Really, really good. Especially the Division 2. Holy crap, the Division 2. 11 seconds. Insane, man. So
yeah, it is impressive.
Yeah. Do we have anything else here? No, we have like a fan mail, right?
We have those 2 voicemails we can run through.
Let's do it. Fan mail. Let's do it.
Fan mail at gamertagradio.com.
Let's go. Voicemail number 1.
Hey guys, this is Jim here. So I think I have a theory with this cloud streaming services like xCloud and Stadia and everything like that on Apple and iOS platforms. So I was playing this morning some Game Pass, and right when I started it up, I noticed that there were add-ons. You know, you can purchase levels, you can purchase gold and stuff like that in a certain level. So I'm thinking that I know Apple wants them to review each game individually and have it on the App Store. Well, then that would mean that they're paying 30% to Apple for every single one of these add-ons that we're buying through there. So somebody's got to absorb that. Would it be the Microsoft? Would it be, the developer? I don't know. Do you have any opinions on that? Right on. Take it easy.
All right, thank you for your voicemail, Danny. Do you have any thoughts on that? On Game Pass having DLC and options up for sale?
Yeah. So I know they've been doing this for a while. First of all, if you have the Samsung app of Xbox Game Pass, you will also have an opportunity to buy these games or buy those DLCs content in the device through that app, but it's only through Samsung Galaxy Store app version of that, right? You can't do that if you have the Android from Google Play. It won't work. You only could play through there. So that's one. Two is, I know that sometimes you will see a game, they'll be there for like, let's say a couple months, and they'll have like a section where it's leaving soon. If you like that game so much and it leaves, you have an opportunity also to buy that from a cheaper price now because you're part of Xbox Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate. So I think it's a great way to promote the game and have it cheaper for everybody that likes it. You know what I'm saying, from Game Pass. So I think that's a good idea. I like that a lot, man. Like, for example, right now you could play The Witcher 3. But you have to buy the expansion if you want to play those in the game.
Is that only available for Samsung? Like, or will there be potential? Will there be potential for that in the future for other manufacturers and stuff like that, for them accessing it?
Yeah, if it's the app is only through Samsung Galaxy, you could do that. If it's the console, you could just do it through there, through the store. Yeah, and the reason is I think there's a deal between Microsoft and Samsung about that. Maybe they will get like a percentage or something, from that. So,
gotcha. I mean, it's different.
Yeah, it is different because I see Game Pass as a tool to promote games that doesn't get highlighted, because it's in the store and there's so many games and people are probably playing other stuff. But if they go to Xbox Game Pass and they see, let's make believe, the Outer Worlds, not first party. Let's go with The Witcher 3, right? Is there? You can play it, you love it, you finish the game. Oh man, there's more content. Then you go and buy the expansion, or you can also buy the game cheaper price, because you're a part of Game Pass, and you could continue your story from the expansion. So I think it's a smart way to promote, and the studios and the publisher will get more money from that too. Instead of getting just a percentage of royalties every time you play the game. So, what's your opinion about that, Pete?
I mean, it does kind of. It doesn't really smell of. Game, I don't know, and maybe that's the wrong way to say it, but when you are sold Game Pass, you're under it's giving you the auspices of, you have access to the entire lineup of titles, to be able to be accessible from wherever you're at, right? And throwing up individual DLCs. I guess it's no surprise, because whether you're on a console or you're playing it through Game Pass, or you're playing it, or you bought it, those options for DLC is going to be there regardless, right? There's always there's been those money grabs from developers and publishers. There's always been those, and money grab is probably the wrong way to word that. but those opportunities for additional revenue are always going to be there, right? That's how they fund the next round of titles or expansions for their title. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that they're going to be offering those things, but if they're incentive based because they're on Game Pass, that might make sense.
Yeah, but it's only for third party. Remember, if it's first party, all that content is going to be free. So let's say Forza Horizon 4, I've been playing that a lot, right? And they've been adding free content every single time, or like Sea of Thieves, free content, because that's Microsoft. They want you to stay in the service. Now, when it comes to a third party, that's a different business model, because third party wants to get extra income, not only through royalties based on you playing these games, but how about the expansion and other things they could do to sell, and they'll get money from that. Now, the thing with Destiny 2, what they're doing, Bungie, is everything is free. The all the expansions, the game, the only thing that you have to pay is for the season pass. That's another different business model. So It's not up to Microsoft when it comes to that. That is a third-party publisher or studio. They have to decide what they want, which I understand. I think that's not a bad thing. I think like Destiny 2, Pete, on Game Pass, now there's an opportunity for 15 million subscribers that has never played Destiny 2. This will be their first time for them to play the game. And if they really want to get more cosmetics and pay for the season pass, they have the opportunity to do that too, man. But hey, you could play the game without paying all.
Oh no, I know, and me and a couple of members of the community jumped back into Destiny 2 over the last couple of weeks, because it was free and available. The question is, how much attachment will those? You said 15 million. How much attachment? If they're already coming from PlayStation or PC, excuse me, are they really going to attach themselves and start buying more skins and DLC and things like that? I'm curious. Offering it for free, at some point there is a point of diminishing returns, because I can't see how, if a player is on Game Pass and is using it for the access to 1,000 titles, right? And let's say, they
100 titles, over 100.
I've heard of that. Okay.
Not 1,000.
but you know what I mean though, right? Like you have access to 100 titles, but let's say they don't have the disposable income of, let's say, myself or whomever. They're not the ones that are going to be sitting there looking to spend money on whether it's clothing or wraps for your guns, etc. So are you really going to see that quote unquote 15 million come over to Xbox and spend money on those things? Like, what's the attach rate on that is my question.
I don't know. I haven't read anything about that, but I'll tell you this, Pete, that there's a lot of people that have Android devices, over 1 billion worldwide, right? Microsoft is going after that crowd. So if that crowd that play mobile games pay all this money on a free game that they play, and they start paying for like cosmetics and other things, right? Why not? They could do the same exact thing without buying the console, just through their mobile device, do the same exact thing playing, let's say, an old Samsung device anywhere from around the world using their Wi-Fi connection. That's all they could do. And that's it. And I think Bungie will get that type of money. Now, right now, we probably not going to see a lot of people doing this, but like long term, watch. I think it's going to be a very huge success, and other third-party companies are going to start doing the same exact thing.
But see, a third party like Bungie or any other the third parties, they're just going to get a percentage of, or they're just going to get some fixed cost per title, right? As the license agreement or whatever for Game Pass. But like I said, a lot of games, we could say whether it's Destiny, whether it's Assassin's Creed or The Division or and I'm just throwing out random third-party titles, but all of them have that mechanism for downloadable content. I don't foresee a lot of people throwing in, for additional DLC additional in-game DLC, for a game that might be 2, 3, 4 years old, right? And yes, I get it. Mobile is huge. Mobile's probably the largest, if not the second largest, demographic in that. But I just can't see them because you look at the marketplaces on either of the platforms, whether it's iTunes or Android or Google Play. Sorry. The free game section is where everybody goes for things, right? And it's a much smaller dichotomy of players or consumers that are actually paying the large quantities for those additional things. So it's just a numbers question for me, right? This is something this is a conversation that I would love to have with Pachter at E3, like on Pachter, on the Michael Pachter party, right? Is of just to pick his brain and see if he thinks that something like this is a viable numbers thing for Microsoft or the third parties. Like what kind of an increase in revenue are they forecasting versus actually getting as a result of all these new mobile players coming to Game Pass?
Mm-hmm. I think the only way we'll find out if we see more third-party companies doing this, because the success of let's say CD Projekt Red, Bungie, etc. We're gonna if this is a success, then we're gonna see more of that. I think so. All right, Pete, we have a second voicemail, right?
Yes, we do. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Hey, Gamertag Radio. My name is Rami from Ashburn, Virginia. Wanted to give you guys a different perspective on why I became an early adopter for the Xbox Series X. Last year, Microsoft was running a deal where you can convert up to 36 months of your Xbox Live membership to Game Pass Ultimate. I looked at my account the other day and I have free Game Pass till October 2022. So that's 2 years of free games from Microsoft, from EA, and their third-party partners. And after Bethesda dropped that megaton bomb of joining the Microsoft family, it made total sense, and I pulled the trigger because it's really free games, and that saves a lot of money next gen. So I wanted to get you guys' opinion on that. I'm not sure if anyone else took advantage of that deal, and it might still actually be running. So it's a great steal. That's why I feel like I relate to Paris a lot on why Game Pass is such a game changer, such a consumer-friendly move. I want to get a PS5, but I hate the white color, so I want to wait till a special edition comes out, like a God of War maybe, and then I'll pull the trigger then. But yeah, I wanted to get your perspective on that. Keep up the good work. Love listening to you guys every week. And Danny, please, let Paris talk sometime, man. Just kidding, but love you guys, and take care. Bye.
See, Danny? Let us talk, damn it.
Yeah, that's all good. It's all good. No, man, thank you for the voicemail, man. That was awesome, man. Very, very cool. What you think about that, Pete? All access, man. Xbox All Access.
I mean, it's great. And actually, if you think about it as well, if you think about the fold in also with EA Play now, you can get, I think it's like a 3-to-1 conversion rate for EA Play as well. So all these little integrations that Microsoft is doing to embolden its player base to continue staying within the ecosystem is just fantastic. It really is. If you really think about it at the core side, it's just it makes sense, and it's really cool to see how they're just like folding in additional players from one place or another to continue doing their stuff. So it's just good for them.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, during last gen, well, actually during this gen, Microsoft started testing out All Access by people could go to the Microsoft store, get the system, and be part of Xbox Game Packs, etc. as a test, right? And also there was an Xbox One S digital version that came out, very small amount of units, but everything was a test for what we have today. So look, a lot of people pre-order the system, both systems, or one, like full price. They just pay either $299, $499, right? But it's good to see, and especially with the economy that's going on now, worldwide, not only in the States, that you could pay $25 a month and you get Game Pass Ultimate, you get xCloud in there for free, EA Play, part of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you get the console, you get everything for a very, very low price, and you pay monthly. Similar to when you do the same exact thing with your phone, you pay monthly and everything, right? I think that's a very smart move, man, because if you don't have the money, $299, and you might have like $25 a month, and that's it. I think you're good with that, man. I think that's really, really cool. Really, really awesome. So,
for sure.
Yeah. It gives opportunity for more people to get the new console. So everybody wins. Everybody wins. All right. Anything else, Pete?
Go
ahead. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying, it's just the more hands that you put that device into, whether it's early now for reviewers and whatnot, or after November, the better, right? Because that, I think the consumer word of mouth speaks volumes, and we have, we as gamers haven't been able to say Microsoft with a positive perspective for quite a long time, right? And it's good to hear nothing, a lot of praise with regards to what they're doing from, groundbreaking technology with the hardware, the acquisition of studios. I mean, if you really think about it, this ZeniMax acquisition, last week is still on the lips of not just, gamers, but overall finance, technology, discussions. It's a huge thing for Microsoft to be able to acquire that, to be able to acquire, ZeniMax and be able to have, the entire Bethesda lineup of titles. And I know you guys talked about it last week on the show on your emergency broadcast of, everybody complained that Microsoft's biggest problem was the lack of single player, long form, cinematic style games. And they picked up one of the, they picked up a studio that thrives on that specializes in that. Right. Mm-hmm. And then, you throw in the potentials for Obsidian and/or Private Division to re-kick off, New Vegas as an option, right? Because now they're all within the fold, and it's almost like, Bethesda meets Bethesda all over again. So hey, it's going to be a very, very interesting holiday season, and I'm curious to see how Microsoft succeeds on this one.
Yeah, I know there was people, we're in the chat too, but I know there's people asking how long it takes for Control to load. It's actually 10 seconds. It's not 30. I know people think I said 30. No, it's 10 seconds. So on the Xbox Series X. So, but P, I think we should wrap it up, man. I think that's that's cool right there. We'll do the after show here, but head over to gamertagradio.com. Post your comments and feedback. Listen to our past episode. You could also find us on any podcast app. Just search for Gamertag Radio, subscribe, and post a review if you can. All right, if you would like to be part of Fan Mail, here's how you can contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so stay tuned. We have more content here coming up in the near future. P, anything you want to like to say maybe before we wrap it up?
No, I think we're good. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget, we've got 1 month down to vote, so you have your opportunity. If you got to mail it in. Go to the polls. November 3rd, vote. Definitely. And wear a mask.
And wear a mask, please. All right. Until next time, we're out.
listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.